Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Ramadan Kareem.
Alaikum salam.
Okay, we'll start inshallah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربي أوزعني أن أشكر نعمتك التي أنعمت علي وعلى والدي وأن أعمل صالحا ترضه وأدخلني برحمتك في عبادك الصالحين ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. All right, we'll start. I think we started the 17th word, so we'll continue with that, inshallah, and see what this verse, the interpretation, how we can understand from this direction of belief. In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate, that which is on earth we have made as a glittering show for the earth, a glittering show for the earth, in order that we may test them or educate them, but the glittering show is there for a purpose. As to which of them, that's the purpose, which of them are best in conduct. Based on seeing that show, what is the conclusion? What do we arrive at? How do we take that? What's the meaning or message that we get from seeing all that glittering show? Is not just pure entertainment, but through entertainment, we are getting a message to connect that to who is displaying that show. Verily, that what is on earth we shall make but as dust and dry soil. Quran, section 18, verse 7 and 8. So these two verses. What is the life of this world but play and amusement? Quran, section 6, verse 32. Yeah, what is the life of this world but play and amusement? So we kind of touched upon this last week on Sunday, Saturday. Why would all this glittering show be displayed to us? At the end, it will become dust and dry soil. And then and further verse explains that what is the life of this world but play and amusement. So I think we can move to this particular section, I think, for those who think and contemplate, because I think last time, or we can read the whole paragraph again just so that we are back into our mindset in terms of how to understand this. Like it seems like a strange kind of setup where you are just given all the things to enjoy in this world, and then all of a sudden things are taken away from you, seemingly taken away from you. So the all-compassionate creator, the munificent provider, the all-wise maker, made this world in the form of a festival and celebration for the world of spirits and spirit beings, adorning it with the wondrous embroideries, adorning this world with the wondrous embroideries of all his names. He clothes each spirit, great or small, elevated or lowly, in a body decked out with senses, suitable to it and appropriate for benefiting from the innumerable various good things and bounties in the festival. So adorning spiritual beings with the wondrous embroideries of all his names. So each and everything has been embroidered with all the names, including human beings. And the spirit of the human being is also made in a way where we can recognize and are aware of what those names or what the qualities that we are experiencing in this wonderful display of the universe are. So embroideries of all his names, he clothes each spirit, great or small, elevated or lowly, in a body. So the human body can be thought of one. Plants have their own body, animals have their own, every planets have their own. Each and every thing is decked out with a particular body, a particular way of how it's shaped and designed and given existence, decked out with senses suitable to it, to that particular spirit and body, and appropriate for benefiting from the innumerable various good things and bounties in the festival. And we can confirm this by our experience here in this world. We are pleased when we are delighted when we are seeing the beautiful sunny day and eating good food. Things are going according to what we are expecting, and we are saddened when things don't go according to what we're expecting. So we are going through all those different experiences. And the good thing is that we are able to sense those things. We are given the tools to live and experience all those things and make sense out of those things. So he gives each a corporeal being and sends it to the spectacle once, and he divides the festival he gives each a corporeal being and sends it to the spectacle once, and he divides the festival, which is most extensive in regard to both time and space, into centuries, years, seasons, and even days, and their parts, and makes them all exalted festivals in the form of parades for all the groups of his creatures with spirits, and for his plant and vegetable artifacts, especially the face of the earth in spring and summer. It is a series of festivals. It is a series of festivals for the groups of small beings, so glittering it draws the gazes of the spirit beings and angels and the dwellers of the heavens in the high levels of the world. A series of festivals for the groups of small beings, so glittering that it draws the gazes of the spirit beings and angels and the dwellers of the heavens in the high levels of the world. For those who think and contemplate, it is a place for reflection so wonderful. A place for reflection so wonderful. The mind is powerless to describe it. For those who think and contemplate, it is a place for reflection so wonderful, the mind is powerless to describe it. But in the face of the manifestations of the divine names, of most merciful and giver of life, in this divine feast and Dominical festival, the names of subduer and dealer of death appear with death and separation. So in the face of the manifestations of the divine names of most merciful and giver of life in this divine feast and dominical festival, the names of subduer and dealer of death appear with death and separation. And this is apparently unconformable with the all-embracing mercy of my mercy encompasses all things. Apparently unconformable. We may think that way, that with the all-embracing mercy of my mercy encompasses all things. Quran section 7, verse 156. My mercy encompasses all things. However, in reality, there are several ways in which it is conformable. And one of these is as follows. After each group of beings has completed its turn in the parade, and the desired results have been obtained from it, in a compassionate way, the most generous maker and compassionate creator makes most of them feel weariness and disgust with the world, and bestows on them a desire for rest and a longing to migrate to another world. And when they are to be discharged from their duties of life, he awakens in their spirits a compelling desire for their original home. Desire for their original home, feeling weariness and disgust with the world, desire for rest and longing. All right, so these are some of the phrases I think we can discuss if anybody wants to comment on them. This is one thought process of, although the beautiful display is there, but it's taken away, and then there's mercy in that. In this particular teaching, of course, this life of this world is but play and amusement can be thought of or can be understood in the way of the education that conscious human beings are going through. And it's for the benefit and the progress that human beings can make for what their purpose in existence is. So after each group of beings has completed its turn in the parade and the desired results have been obtained from whatever their duty is. So everything in creation has their own life cycle, lifespan, and similarly human being as well. Okay, somebody put a comment which caught my attention. So Buri is asking, how can the display here be a festival or celebration for my spirit? Because my spirit doesn't get satisfied with transient display. What am I celebrating then? The need for a new type of creation from the temporary display here? Okay, interesting question. Why, how does the spirit feel? Okay. Brother Ali, go ahead.
Indeed, it is an interesting question and also practical concern for everyone. If this problem is not solved, a lot of people, although they are students of the Quran, but if the Quran is not seriously studied, this is an inevitable contradiction that they will find themselves. those people who are identified as Sufi, following the Sufi tradition, are really suffering from this problem. That is, that Fariha asked, very fundamentally in their heart, if you like, this problem lies. I mean, in the heart of the, not the people, in the heart of the Sufi tradition, this problem lies. Since I find myself not satisfied with the beauty of this world, then it is the dangerous point now, as if throwing yourself into the from the cliff into the valley, the bottom of the cliff. Why should I concern about it? That is the problem for everyone, and myself as well. If something happens here, although I like my friends and I like also my friendship continue with them, but I know they will die, I will die as well. What is the point in enjoying the friendship? For example, I like existing now, but I'm going to die, and the beauty of my life will become meaningless for me, and I will leave this world when I die behind. Why should I bother about it? This is the problem. It's a very, very serious, deep problem, unfortunately impenetrated into some part of Muslim community, although they have Muslim tradition, although they are wonderful people, they have good intention, but unfortunately they don't really realize what the Quran is teaching, what the reality of this world is. Don't say that, I mean, they didn't, those great people among the Sufi tradition, they are great people. Do you think you know better than that? Of course, I don't claim that, but when I read the Quran under a very right attitude and guidance, I realize, not because I know, but my teacher knows. If you like, the Mu'allif also says, I'm using this, what I said, it was in Turkish, in Arabic. The author of this book also says, my teacher is the Quran, and my teacher who sent the Quran is God, so he knows better than everyone else. I'm benefiting from it. I'm not exactly getting what his knowledge is, not benefiting from it. That's why we can say those great scholars, they are great people. They have succeeded many difficult problems of human beings, but at this point, some of them, maybe majority of them, are suffering, saying this world is dirty. Although we hear this word, this kind of word, this word is not important. It is transient. It is just a play and just a toy, just meaningless entertainment. Lahu. Then what they do, they turn their back to the world, therefore they turn their back to their reality in this world, their reality in this world as a human being. Why we are here then? What was the wrong thing? What was wrong with the Creator who created this world and me in these terrible positions and then gives me death, and then takes me to paradise if I believe in him. The problem is, how do you believe in him so that you will go to paradise? That is the root of the problem. Belief in God is taken for granted. They didn't go, the belief, if the belief does not go through the process of confirmation under the guidance of the evidence we are observing, then this belief is taken for granted belief. This is the problem. Asking that, I want paradise, I want God, I want to go back to God. But you want to go back to God. Why? How do you know you are going to back to God? This is the problem. The belief has not been processed as it is supposed to be processed under the guidance of the Quran. I think the first, after this verse, which says this is just a play and amusement, meaningless things, beauty, but I am not really enjoying it because it is transient. Yeah, the same Quran says, why don't you look what I am creating here so that you will go through the process. How am I process of what is going on in this world so that you will conclude that this verse must be given existence by someone who is wonderful. But as we call it in our discussions, there is a beautiful, useful, impossible to neglect reality, that there is a very meaningful contradiction with it in the creation. Meaningful one, contradiction in the creation. Very important. Why? It's very simple. Everybody knows in this room. It's very interesting. If I don't see the beauty of the creation of anything as pointing to its creator and concluding that this creator must have an absolute qualities, after finding the creator, investigating this world, experiencing the beauty of this world, loving the beauty of this world, but at the end being disappointed because this beauty doesn't continue. But we have to say, why do I love this world and it doesn't continue? So when you investigate it, you understand that this beautiful thing that you like here, you don't want to lose. You don't want to get to the end. It means, oh, I loved it, but it is finished. I loved it, but I still want it. Although I know I am going to die, but still, even I don't want to die and postpone it as much possible, as long as possible. Why? Why am I struggling this? To look for the source of existence of these beautiful things that we are experiencing here. And then questioning, now, how do they come into existence? Who is giving it and taking it away in a very meaningful way? Because the existence, every part of existence is extremely meaningful. Why is it taking it away? You understand that I have to see who is this thing, whatever it is, giving existence to this beautiful world that I love it, but I'm going to lose it. It is a torture. Why not? Let me see what's going on here. When we investigate the events, anything created, we come to the conclusion that they need an absolute creator. That is not our subject. Now I'm shortcutting here, cutting it short here. That is what we have to understand. The creator is absolute, but he's creating a transient thing. My desires are endless, but he gives me a transient world. What does it mean? All these desires, endless, desiring endless satisfaction, is a promise. When you find me, you can ask me, I can give you. Because I am absolute, you understood now. This is a belief. Now from the beginning, without investigating what is the source of any event, anything happens to me, by questioning how the existence of this event takes place. Who is the creator? When you know the creator, this transient world, although doesn't satisfy you, it becomes a most useful means of realizing what is going on in this world, without which we can never get out of our problems, our troubles. That we don't like something. Yes, we don't like many things, but we love the existence of those things, but we don't like the fact that they are going to leave us alone. That is a beautiful contradiction. We should never ever neglect this beauty in the creation. Otherwise, we will not get out of the problem of disappointment, despair, hopelessness, and getting angry with the creation without realizing I'm getting angry with the creator. That is why we have to utilize it. Then, as this author of this book says, whoever criticizes the creator by criticizing his creation, he will never ever get out of the hurt. It gives an example, but in English this example doesn't make sense. That's why it needs explanation, but we did the explanation. If you criticize God ultimately because of his creation, you will never get satisfaction in this world, neither with God nor this world. You will be always miserable. That is the solution. Celebrate this solution. Use the creation. This is the news from my absolute creator. He is promising me the infinite pleasure after I die. But here also I am temporarily entertaining the beauty. This means before I die that, with the news of the revelation that the paradise is going to be given to us, and the new creation definitely must take place. Otherwise, the existence of this universe will be meaningless, source of torture, contradict the mercy of its creator, which I see the mercy in the beauty, but doesn't continue. That is beautiful. If the beauty continued, the loving side of the beauty continues, what will happen? I will never realize that it is creator. There is a creator. He is introducing himself. No, I will never realize that. I will say the thing itself is satisfying me, And again, the author of this book says, you will be slave of every single being that you loved. And you have to say, thank you, the atoms, thank you, the molecules of the water, etc., etc. And then, of course, within yourself, I want eternity, but they don't give me eternity. Oh, you find yourself in there worshipping all parts of the universe and also not getting out of the miserable understanding of life, because everything becomes a source of torture, because they say, you love me, but I'm going to leave you, bye-bye. For example, some let's say if opposite sex attracted you, you say, okay, I deal, I'm going to get married. But he says, okay, we can get married, but tomorrow I'm going to divorce you. Wow. How do you enjoy this guy? Impossible. Impossible. That's why we have to understand this very simple transition from beautiful creation, but not really getting full satisfaction. It's the perfect wisdom. Otherwise, we will be worshipping meta, ourselves. That is very irrational to conclude this way. Thank you.
Thank you, Jazakallah. Thank you, Brother Ali. Any other comments by anyone? Let's see if this works. Yeah, this works. So what is the life of this world but play and amusement? We need to use that world as a means to recognize the absoluteness of the Lord and make the spirit satisfied with that, inshallah. Moreover, it is not far from the infinite mercy of the most merciful that just as he bestows the rank of martyrdom on a soldier who perishes on account of his duty while fighting, it is not far from the infinite mercy of the most merciful that just as he bestows the rank of martyrdom on a soldier who perishes on account of his duty while fighting, and rewards the sheep slaughtered as a sacrifice by giving it an eternal corporeal existence in the hereafter, and the rank of being a mount for its owner on the bridge of Sirat, like Burak. So too with other animals and beings, with spirits, who perish while performing the dominical duties peculiar to their natures and in obeying the divine commands, and who suffer severe distress. It is not unlikely that there should be for them in the inexhaustible treasuries of his mercy a sort of spiritual reward and kind of wage suitable to their capacities, and that they should not be unduly troubled at departing this world. Indeed, that they should be pleased. None knows the unseen save God. Another interesting point here in this paragraph about like the sheep example of the sacrificing of the sheep, and how like the animal rights groups, they say that we're torturing the animals by go vegetarian only. But here the presentation kind of makes us wonder the whole setup of Like, for example, even the rank of martyrdom as a soldier, although the person perishes, the body dies while fighting, is similar to, like there's it's part of all within the umbrella of the infinite mercy of the most merciful. And I think he's using some of the Quranic terminology here, like rank of being the mount for its owner on the bridge of Sirat, like Burak. So those slaughtered sheep, when they're sacrificed in the name of their creator as a gift and mercy from the Lord, so too with other animals and beings with spirits who perish while performing the dominical. That is part of the dominical duties peculiar to their natures and in obeying the divine commands. It's not likely that there should be far for them in their inexhaustible treasure of His mercy, a sort of spiritual reward. Spiritual reward and a kind of wage suitable to their capacities. Yes, Brother Ali, go ahead.
These concepts, the Quran, partially the Burak and the sacrifice is mentioned, but not directly as it is known in the common culture. These are understood in a very narrow way. As far as I understand, my reflections tell me, in a very narrow way. They are not wrong, but they don't represent what Islamic or the prophetic teaching actually, this kind of Burak and Shaheed, etc. How it is explained in the Quran, the sacrifice, especially why they say, the Muslims say they kill people, the enemies of Islam say, I'm sorry if I speak a lot again, because it needs really deep reflection. They say, these people, the Muslims are so funny. They kill people and they say, oh, Shaheed. They kill animal and they say they are Shaheed. So, as you said, go veggie. So, what is the point? You are killing plants, the same thing. Giving a name to a living being. What is the point? So silly, because they don't understand. They don't reflect on it, so they don't understand what's going on. Let's go step by step. First, Shahid and Shaheed. The Quran uses both terminology at the same time and in different contexts. On the one hand, everything is Shahid, witness. Everything is a witness to its creator. We talked about it. And also, those people who are Shaheed are given endless life, the most enjoyable life in the next creation. It's just a wishful hope, isn't it? When you die, finish. That's what people say. But we understand from the way the things are created, everything is a Shahid, and everything is created to be a Shaheed, martyr. Martyr doesn't really give the meaning of what the Quran means by Shaheed, by Islamic tradition. So it is a very ambiguous word, martyr.
So you're saying every creation is a Shaheed? That's what it says.
Yeah, every creation is Shaheed by dying in order to make their existence clearly understood, so that eternal being, the creator, must be understood. must be realized. So they sacrifice. We can understand how the universe is created in such a way that everything is sacrificing their life in order to demonstrate the truthfulness of their creator, the truthfulness of the absoluteness of their creator. Otherwise, they will be replacing God here in the eye of conscious human beings. That's why we have to see, for example, the fall, creation of the fall, celebration of Shaheed. The living beings are sacrificing their life in order to teach conscious human beings that, look, I am not the source of truth. I am not the source of satisfaction. Look for the truth for your satisfaction, source of satisfaction for yourself. Bye-bye. I am giving an end to my life. And the way they are created is giving this news to conscious beings. If a person also dies, in order to make that, not for the stupid claims, national purposes, or under the name of religion, they die just under the guidance of their caprices in order to put the power, their own power, rather than really Allah's power, Allah's knowledge and wisdom, etc., Allah's qualities to prevail. For example, during the Prophet's time, why people did not at all hesitated about going on war and defending Muslim community and defending the Prophet, because they knew that if these enemies kill the Prophet, all the truth we receive through him will disappear. It will not spread. So they said, okay, in order to truth to prevail forever in this world, I am ready to sacrifice myself, as every creature, every living being sacrifices itself in the creation. There's an example. So we have to understand that not those people who die in the battlefield are martyrs, but all creatures are martyrs. They are created to be
Brotherly, did we lose you or?
describes God as permanent witness, and at the same time, Shahid and Mashhud. These are some linguistics side of the beauty of the Quran. That is something else. Let's come to the understanding of killing an animal in the name of God and making that he became Shahid. He became an animal in the eternal life, in hereafter. That is why really sacrificing or slaughtering an animal is celebrated in Muslim tradition. Why? You are experiencing how the created animal beings, animals, for example, plants, for example, they are created to be witness in order to tell me, teach me that their creator is an absolute being. They are not the source of their existence. Without killing the man, the animal, you can benefit from the provision provided for you in its existence. That is what he says. I am dying, now you can get my creator's provision for you. He is introducing himself to me. I am ready to sacrifice my life. That is why it is celebrated in Islam. Consciously kill an animal, of course, which is created to be a source of nourishment, source of provision for me, not human beings. So we don't celebrate to create human beings because we don't eat their meat, or we don't benefit from anything from them. Just if they really offense, it means if they really attack in order to get an end to the believers and attacking the teachings of the Quran in order to make it not as effective, these people's idea must be killed. These people's ideologies must be killed. Wrong way of thinking must be killed, not the body of the people. So you have to prepare your counter argument. We have endless counter arguments for those people who deny the truth that the Quran conveys to us. So by killing the body, what are you going to do with it? The idea is still there. By killing all the kuffar, unbelievers, the idea of denial still remains there, unanswered. So it doesn't make any sense to kill an unbeliever because he's spreading the idea of unbelief. Doesn't make sense. The only way, instead of killing the man, kill the idea, all non-believers are killed, if you like, by answering and giving a satisfactory answer. By attacking or talking about killing these unbelievers who are attacking Islam, truth of God's truth, so we have to get rid of them, demonstrates that these people have no answer. It means they are not satisfied with the truthfulness of their claim. It is just a weakness that turns into a caprice, saying that a false claim that I am protecting the truth, upholding the reality, that's why I am killing this man. It's stupid. The source is still there, idea is still there. That is why the Muslims are, or the believers are angry with the non-believers, because they are not satisfied with their own belief. That is the second point, sacrificial animals. Why they are going to be a burak. What does it mean, burak? Burak in Islamic tradition represents the means. It is very important description of this term, burak. The means which took the prophet to meet God, not personally, but become perfectly aware of his own reality, God's reality of being absolute, being as a creature, within the capacity of a creature, as much as a creature can reach. That is called ascension, Miraj. Now, he went to Miraj with Burak, a means, a vehicle. Oh, I can go to my Miraj, I can make my Miraj, I can go to meet my Creator by sacrificing a beautiful thing, for example, an animal, most lovable animal, most familiar domesticated animals are what? Cows, oxes, goats, sheep, fish, for example. Now, they are the most lovable one for us. If you go and see a small lamb, going after its mother and sucking the mother's milk, you love it. That's what Allah created us, this sense of loving it. But when it grows, you slaughter it, saying, in your existence, I realize you are transient. Let me experience this and slaughter it. You see, it wasn't you, it is giving the provision to me, the one who created you. You are dead now, but I'm still benefiting from it. This transition is taking place through the, if you like, journey of Miraj, and anything we used here in order to acknowledge its creator is to be the absolute, not the itself. The thing itself is the source of its qualities. An atom, a cell, an ant. We understand that ants are dying. I mean, there is no benefit in killing the ants, but there is a benefit in killing the domesticated animals. We didn't domesticate them, created, provided them for us. That's what how the choice, the will of God is manifesting itself. Come on, you can benefit from it, but you cannot benefit if you kill a dog. Why? You cannot eat its meat. You cannot benefit by killing the ants because you don't benefit anything from killing them. They die themselves. That is their block. That is going to be a block for myself when I see that ants are definitely going to die. Animals are also, if I don't kill, they will die. But when they die themselves, or the plants die themselves, I don't benefit from them. Before they die, before they get rot, I have to pull them out and make them shaheed so that they will be a brak for me if I use it for my miraj. If I don't use it for my miraj, killing an animal during the Eid day of celebration, the day of, how do you say it? Yeah, slaughtering or celebration day of what is called sacrifice. Qurban in the most of the language of the Muslim people. If I say I'm slaughtering it because God ordered me, yeah, and I am going to benefit from its food. Is it a brak now? No, it is not brak at all. It is not used to make a journey of my own miraj. But it's not brak. To me, it's a murder. That's why we are not aware, when we are not aware of it, what is going on when I slaughter an animal, I cannot explain it to those people who criticize me. When I don't know why I am doing that, I get angry with the one who criticized me because of my slaughtering the animal, and I become an enemy of this man and try to harm him or kill him. You understand why the believers get furious against the unbelief or unbelievers when they propagate their ideas. But if they physically attack my body, I have to defend it. Every civilization in the world, defense, a legitimate, or how do you say, reasonable defense is legitimate. Even in most atheist countries, I don't know whether they are still following the atheistic ideology, China, Russia, whatever, most atheistic administrations, if someone attacks you and then you try to defend yourself, they don't say that you are doing something wrong. They celebrate you. They say you are doing something right because you defended yourself. In Islamic war is the same. Defend your body, but not your ideology. Your ideology must be defended with a counter argument based on acceptable, reasonable evidence, explanation. That is what the war going on in the world nowadays, not bodily. That time also the same. They were not really prosecuting or attacking non-believer people. The Quran and the prophetic tradition was attacking their ideologies, and if they don't really attack, if they want peace treaty with the Muslims in Medina, the Prophet and the companions could not, according to the rule of Islam and teachings of the Prophet and the Quran, they could not reject, because Quran clearly, simply states that if they offer you peace, you have to offer them peace under any circumstances. It means if they don't attack you physically, you never have the right to attack them back. These are the fine points that the Muslim communities are missing. That is why Islam, they say, Islam is the most misunderstood religion, because you are the most failed believer, not because the people are misunderstanding it. The way you presented the Quran and Islam, any human being with no bias would not accept it. And if someone has a bias to attack Islam, if someone has bias to deny, not accept a superior creator over him, he is bound to become an unbeliever, but he wouldn't attack Islam and Muslims. I don't know what these people say. They are strange. I have nothing to do with them. And I don't believe in God because he's not satisfied with the evidence presented to him. But those people who has a bad intention not to submit themselves and also doubles this guilt, and also I am going to shut these people who propagate Islam, attack on them. And these people attack Islam, and we don't have argument, counter-argument against them, which is based on reasonable explanations that every human being has to accept if they don't condition themselves. That is what we have to make the distinction. Why Quran says, go on fire, encourage the believers to kill in the battlefield, because the body must be preserved. Otherwise, they will kill the body of the Prophet and the followers, so the truth will never be spread around. Otherwise, that is historical reality in the Muslim history and the life of the Prophet and companions. Afterwards, the people were corrupt, of course, like nowadays. But in the pristine example of Islamic life, none of the caliphs of the Prophet rejected any tribe's peace treaty demand just because they didn't believe. I don't accept your treaty, otherwise they would contradict with the teachings of the Quran and the practice of the Prophet. So as long as they don't physically attack, we cannot attack back to the body of the unbelievers who even propagate ideas against Islam. We cannot do that. Unfortunately, historically, if we are careful, you will see that later on interpretations and presentation of Islam by the scholars who are mostly supported by kings developed in the Muslim community as they become more and more corrupted. And they interpreted and injected the idea that there should be no unbeliever in Arabian Peninsula. That's what the Prophet declared. No, there should be peace in any terms, either accepting Islam or accepting peace treaty. It means non-attack treaty. How do you, this is called something? Not only peace treaty, there is another term used, a non-combatant position. I'm not going to attack you physically, but I keep my unbelief. For example, in a Muslim community, if there is a Christian, Jew, or Buddhist, whatever, in this among the Muslim administration, where the caliphs are ruling, are they going to be deprived of their religious practice? Not at all. No one has the right for the Jews to build their synagogue and celebrate their religion, teach their religion in the synagogue under the administration of caliphate. Because caliphate has no right to interfere into people's belief. He has to, he himself and administration has to make the truth of Islam as much as possible, humanly possible, to make it in a clear form. This is a very important attitude of the teachings of the Quran and the Prophet, practice of the Prophet. Unfortunately, in the name of Islam, in the name of the practice of the Prophet, people are killing other people because they are not accepting Islam and attacking Islam ideologically. Give your ideology against these people's ideas and challenge them at the level they are attacking you. They are attacking you ideologically, not bodily, so that you will have the right to kill them. If we are not really careful about this kind of sacrificing animals during the Eid of sacrifice, and what brach is, the animal was not really horse, but something, not the camel as well. No, the stupid interpretations are meaningless. And unfortunately, most of the community is, most of the community are really immersed in these story-like mysteries, or how they say, unrealistic understanding, shaheed, buraq, sacrifice. These concepts are really mostly corrupted in the Muslim community. That's why we have to watch out and be careful. Thank you. Sorry, I took over everything and speak so much, but I thought these are very important points, inshallah, that we have to share. If I am wrong, please forgive me and correct me, give me guidance. But I'm just sharing my reflections with you because I love you all. Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Kareem.
MashaAllah, thank you, Brother Ali, for sharing thoughts. Anybody else? Right, before we close, inshallah, we'll continue next time, inshallah, with however, although man, the noblest of beings, and how we can get into that state of mind. All right. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Bi hurmati suratul Fatiha.